What's going on today, guys? We Reviews here, and welcome back to another episode of Plugin Police. The only yada yada, we review plugins on YouTube. Okay, today we'll be looking at Native Instruments PLAYBOX. It's a device for contact. I already feel like I'm selling it short there. We'll just take a look at it. Come on, follow me. PLAYBOX is an instrument for contact that promises to help you get rid of writer's block and help you break out of a creative rut. Bold claims. It uses samples, chord sets, and effects to do so, all with randomized features and a very large library. Essentially, you roll the dice, and it gives you random chords and riffs, and random layers of sounds all put together. Usually, I just have Rob or Steven generate my music ideas, but this seems much easier. It's $149, normally it's $200, and there's no trial, which I'm not a big fan of, because it's actually pretty hard to get your hands on a copy of it in that case. So basically, you roll the dice to randomize the samples, chords, and effects. You can go through different chord presets. You can lock the chords, the samples, effects, so that if you like a certain thing, you can keep that locked in place while randomizing the other things. You can assign over 900 unique samples to a chord, and you can batch import up to 450 samples of your own. I'm not sure why it's 450. It seems like a very arbitrary number. So it has presets as well as the ability to randomize. The cubes are visualization of the layers that you are randomizing, and each different look to the cube is a different type of sound. You can also obviously lock the key, otherwise this would not be as useful. It can definitely create wonderful textures very randomly, and does it pretty consistently as well. It seems like a dream for loop makers because of the workflow and the ability to randomize things and keep things variable. I don't think there was really a way to do this to this extent before this, so this is actually providing a service that you couldn't get beforehand, at least not this consistently. I like that you can manually put in your own MIDI files as well as samples. It really helps expand this beyond the basic version of it that you would have normally, because if you're worried about it making sounds similar to other people, then you can change out the things that would cause that. Honestly, so far I haven't really found myself with that problem. I feel like a lot of the sounds it creates are pretty unique sounding. It definitely reminds me a little bit of arcade for some reason. I think because of the general system of it and the key lock system, and maybe it's a little bit the sound reminds me of it too. But I think it's better than arcade because you can do a lot more with this than you could with arcade. Arcade is definitely limiting to you to certain sounds, like whatever library they have. You're gonna be limited to that unless you put your own samples in it, but at that point you're just sampling things. At least with this you can randomize things and change things. I think it's really impressive that we're able to get all of this in just a contact device. It's a pro and con though, because I feel like that's part of the reason why there's no trials, because it's a contact device and it's probably not as easy for them to set up a trial within that. I really think that's probably the most mind-blowing thing about this is that this is just a contact device. This seems more like a full-on plugin to me. The effects also seem pretty built out, which I can appreciate, especially the lo-fi noise section. It seems like there's a large variety of noise samples there. It's pretty impressive. I mean, a lot of the effects you get in most plugins are just like random throwaway things that every single plugin has, like a compressor, EQ, reverb, chorus. So it's nice when there's a little more specific, flavorful, characteristic things within it. My biggest critique really is the lack of a trial. I feel like they have something pretty nice here, and by putting it behind this paywall with no trial, they're gonna miss out on a lot of customers. At first I thought I might be having performance issues with this device, but I realized it was actually my recording driver causing the buffer playback issue. Because with my normal driver, I was able to run over 20 instances of this thing, which is probably more than you'd ever need. One more thing I thought of that they could do to improve this, maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much here, but I don't know, maybe if it costs $200, then maybe I'm not asking for too much, But I feel like there should maybe be different modes. Like they should have like a lead mode, a bass mode, like a texture / chord mode or something. It seems like it can make bass sounds and lead sounds as well, but it does it randomly. And it'd be nice if we could just give it like a subsection of like what you want it to make. I generally find this makes really good chords and atmospheric textures, but it's a little bit harder to get it focused on making a good bass or lead. Although it did make some pretty interesting bass sounds too. I definitely found some interesting background bass sounds to use. More that you can go through, and they have different presets with different types of sounds in them. But what I'm talking about is using the randomize feature to generate a specific type of sound. I mean, it does sort of suck some of the musicality and mystery out of crafting tunes, especially if you're going to do them from scratch with this. But I feel like generally this is made to like break you out of writer's block or help you get past a part that you wouldn't be able to get past anyways. So if you're using it for those purposes, I feel like you're not really taking the mystery out of anything. Here are 4 beats I made with it. I use PLAYBOX to generate all of the melody sounds. So yeah, the problems it has. It's a little bit expensive. It would be nice if there was a way to make it focus on specific types of sounds. It'd also be nice if it wasn't a contact device and there was a trial. But overall, I think this is a really good device and something I will be using in the future, especially when I've hit a wall and I'm not really sure what I want to add to a song. I think this is really great for that. If I'm not sure what I want, then pressing a random button is actually a good thing, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe some people would disagree with that, but I feel like the random features are a great way to get past something when you're not sure what you want or where to go next, because it's the only way to get you that out of the box thought, you know? Anyways, I give Native Instruments PLAYBOX a 8 out of 10. Have you guys tried Native Instruments PLAYBOX? Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. I'm your host, Weaver Beats. Make sure to check me out on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and check out my website, weaverbeats.com/kits for free kits, and there's even some paid kits. Also, make sure to check out bloom-audio.com for a great mixing and mastering service. I know this because I am them. Use code Weaver for 20% off.
Bang Incorporated.